I woke up with a taste of plastic in my mouth and a pressure on my chest that didn't feel like sleep paralysis or a nightmare or anything that could fade in daylight. It was suffocation. A zipper pulled hard shut over my head, pressed down by a hand from the outside. In the depthless dark of that sleeping bag, with the cold burn of fake insulation suffocating me, I could hear breath trickling down toward my face. Not my own, someone else's, slow and measured, like they enjoyed every second I squirmed under their grip. I tried to scream. All I could get through the half-zipped mesh was a pathetic, chewed-up gasp. Whoever was standing above me, holding the zip in place, didn't flinch, didn't shush me, didn't say a word, just waited. I kicked, blind, shaking, fighting for slack in the cocoon. That's when I heard it. The snap of a Polaroid camera, inches from my face, its flash burning white through layers of blue camping nylon. It left a phosphorus shadow floating in my skull. After a second that seemed to last forever, the zipper let slip, and I fell out, gasping, elbows hitting hardwood, chest pumping. The sleepover scattered around the living room. 4 other sleeping bags, shapes snoring and shifting. No one awake. I half crawled, dizzy, my head throbbing. A single Polaroid was upright on the nightstand, propped like a trophy. It showed me and my friends, sound asleep, limp with trust, time-stamped 2:14 a.m., an angle from the foot of the couch, like an outsider's view. I believed in logic, in explanations, in home as a skin that keeps the world outside in that moment. Every law keeping stranger from sanctuary broke, and it's never quite clicked back since. If stories like this keep finding you after dark, subscribe to Horror Whisper. Some things are easier to face when you're not alone. You always remember why you agreed to sleep over, what you thought you'd get. I was 16, trying to laugh off another week of dodging shouting matches between my mom and her boyfriend. I just wanted quiet, normal. My friend Kayla's house offered escape and warm pizza, not nightmares. But I need you to understand. Sometimes your mind bargains with the wrong kind of unease. You feel creeped out for no good reason, and you ignore it. Afraid of looking childish, vulnerable. So you swallow it, so desperate to fit that you'll override every signal telling you something is wrong. I collapsed against the wall, scanning the dark for movement. Kayla and Allie were curled close, Anna half off her air mattress, Rob snoring in the corner, no one moving near me, just the blue light of Kayla's dinosaur-shaped nightlight casting swooping shadows. And yet, the carpet was cold in wet patches, speckled with lines of something. Slushy footprints tracking back from the sliding door, too small to be adult boots, too wide for any of us. I traced them with my palm, heart stuttering. They led to a corner of the kitchen, toward the mudroom, ending at a door I knew we'd locked. So I did the only thing I could, simmering with terror. I woke Kayla. I tried to keep my voice low, but it came out tight and shrill. "Someone's been in here," a headline phrase, the kind you only ever say sarcastically, until it's naked and real in your mouth. Her eyes flicked between my pale face. The Polaroid, the footprints. She smiled, tired, hands up. "It's a prank. Harp. Rob probably did the picture, and maybe somebody forgot to wipe their feet." But her eyes were searching, throat stiff, denial crumbling. The trackpad whirred under her thumb as she checked her phone. 2 a.m., no missed calls, but the air had the thick recycled chill of a storm outside. Wet snow shivered off the gutters in fat, sticky clumps. No one would prank us in this weather. Nobody would trudge through a blizzard for laughs. Still, I wanted proof beyond paranoia. I went to the door, latched, then the window above the sink. Condensation fogged all along the inside glass, pixels of warmth clinging to each fingerprint. I ran my sleeve across the surface, sweeping the fog away. And beneath the blur, someone had written 3 words. I see you, not Kayla, not Harper, just you. The condensation dripped. The letters got fatter, uglier. Kayla's breath hitched as she backed away, sleeve to mouth. My knees almost buckled. How would someone get inside, write that, leave, and none of us wake? The room's silence felt staged, like we'd walked into a scene already mid-play, with the cast just off stage, watching. I wanted to grab my phone and bail, but my keys weren't in my jacket, and the snow was coming down that thick, unnatural way that makes everything muffled. Missing keys, missing courage. I told myself I'd just left them in the car. Another excuse. We called the police at 2:30. Voices trembling in relay, words fumbling out half sane. They came, a pair of officers, boots thumping through every room, searching corners with lights, opening closets, asking careful, therapeutic questions. They found nothing. No footprints outside, too much new snow, no broken windows, no damage. The glass door's lock worked. The deadbolt twisted home with a click. Probably just a prank, the older cop said. Sleep tight. Kids, double-check the locks. You're safe. They closed the front door behind them. Their headlights flicked up the driveway, then out of sight. That's when Kayla screamed, a dry, shredded sound that seemed to tear the dark in half. Right above the dining room, pressed into the inside of the frost-fogged window, was a fresh handprint, long, thin fingers, dragging down the glass. We clustered in the living room like animals, trying not to make noise, not to argue. Every one of us. I saw it in their faces, knew it wasn't a joke. Someone was in the house, someone who'd been here long enough to bleed the fear out slow. We did what scared children do. We moved to the brightest room, the TV blazing a cheap volume wall against the hush. But sleep was done for the night, and all of us pretended to drift off, wide-eyed, listening for any sound that didn't belong. Rob whispered, "There's someone on the porch," but there was nobody outside. Not in the empty glow of the sodium floodlights, not in the cold tongue of wind lashing the steps. Tap, tap, tap. That's how it started. The rhythmic, uneven tick of fingernails on glass. Not from the porch, but the kitchen behind us, behind every wall, it seemed, all at once, or maybe just imagined, like goose flesh moving. Then the whistle, soft, flat, 5 or 6 notes, like the start of a lullaby. Pitched too slow to remember, too off-key to soothe. The kind of sound that crawls inside your throat and stays. I must have lost time. I remember clutching my phone, blinking and watching the clock stutter. 2:53, still 2:53, time refusing to move. I must have asked Kayla to talk with me, fill up the silence, but every word fell dead. All I could do was check the corners, shadows twitching with every flicker of the Christmas lights. My own reflection stretched in the black window. That's when the living room TV flickered static and cut black. The only sound was wind. I got up. I don't know why. Something told me to move. Black curiosity, maybe. Or that awful restless logic that tells you to make sure. I padded into the hallway, toward the mudroom door, moral center buckling. One last time, I told myself, to prove we weren't prisoners of our own fear. The door was open, not wide, but swinging, slow, exposing the stairway that led down to the crawlspace beneath the house. A midnight opening with cold, gut mildew breath stiff in the entry. There was a smell to it, like old copper and stale air. A blue gum wrapper sat on the 3rd step. I was certain Kayla's brother chewed that brand, But he moved out to college months ago. The air changed. Silence compressed the walls like a set of jaws. I almost stepped down when Kayla yanked me back from behind. "Don't," she hissed, voice shaking. We slammed the door, bolted it, waited for the world to feel normal again. But normal never came. The motion sensor in the backyard flashed. Once, twice, a pattern. Off, on, off. Someone pacing outside in the snow, or just inside the storm's shuddering edge. Rob said, "We should check the attic." Even then, it sounded like a parody from a bad movie. Kids checking the attic for monsters. But we felt corralled. Every sense told us the threat came from above or below. Not through the door. The attic hatch was a squarish yellow rectangle in the ceiling by the upstairs landing. The pull cord was looped with twine, grated with dust. We shoved a chair beneath it, shining flashlights up through the prickling dark. The hatch was open, a half-inch gap, air cooler than the house slurping down at our knuckles. Kayla muttered, "It was closed." Swear to God, we didn't want to look, but not looking felt worse. Anna boosted Rob up. He poked his head in, flashlight trembling. He made a sound, a raw, sick yelp, clambered down, face gray. "There's food wrappers, blankets, clothes up there." Suddenly the logic bomb detonated. "Oh my God, there's a bed up there. There's, like, a notebook, pictures. Guys, there's pictures of us in here." We all wanted to say it. How long? How long had someone been here? Feeding off whatever we left, watching, marking our hours, blending into our waking life like shadow, waiting for the perfect night when our guards finally dropped. We called the cops again. Their voices flickered through the phone line, promising quick response, until the call cut, static burning my ear. The phone screens all glitched, bolted to red bars with no service. 3 minutes later, the generator in the snow kicked and failed. Lights dying. We heard a slam, a pounding, somewhere at the far side of the house, heavy enough to rattle everything loose. I ran to the garage. My car, a junky 2011 Civic, sat huddled in the driveway. The tires were puddled in black shreds, slashed, unmistakable. We were trapped. Every wall felt thinner. Every surface, every shadow, held the memory of fingerprints. I could taste the crawl space, the attic, the dark crawlways inside the walls where food wrappers festered, and someone lay still, perfectly still, for months, learning the tick of our feet, the code of our laughter, the rhythm of our safety. I flashed back to 2 weeks ago. A strange delivery guy, tall and bladed thin, asking for a signature at noon. I'd felt off. His eyes not meeting mine, his hands too pale, a weird smile that never really landed. He must have seen me fumbling with the lock, watched the door almost catch on the mat. I remember pushing the door closed, feeling that minor resistance, thinking it was just warped wood, never realizing there was someone pressed flat to the wall, waiting for that sliver-wide opportunity. The realization bubbled up. Every second since then, every trip upstairs, every night I thought I heard mice, every hour the dog barked for no reason. He was here, inside the architecture of pretending to be safe. Another Polaroid on the floor, sliding from under the couch. Me again. But this time, tonight, not asleep. Snapped just as I stared into the kitchen, mouth half open, looking for something I never found. And then, the worst moment wasn't the fear. It was realizing the game wasn't random. He wasn't stalking all of us. He was watching me, my missing phone charger, the old hoodie I couldn't find, the note I left for Kayla, all my stuff, stashed in the attic among his nests of dirty clothes, Polaroids, and cold sandwiches. Why me? What had I done to step from background to target in his private theater? The pounding started, a full, two-handed hammering on the upstairs bedroom door. All 5 of us crammed inside, lights out, armchairs pushed to blockade, hearts flame hot in our throats. The whistling came back, slow, patient, just above the threshold, a waltz for 5 strong notes, always the same, always ending in an uneven breath. A voice, low and muffled, pressed through the keyhole. You slept so well. I pressed my fists to my ears, begged for the police, for anyone, to come. The door leapt in its frame. With each hit, dust rained from the drywall. Kayla called 911, the line heavy with dead static. The last thing I remember is the blue and red flicker washing through the window, feet pounding up the stairs, cops yelling, a final crash, the door shattering open onto 5 teenage corpses of fear. They told us it was over. They found fingerprints, stale cigarette butts, a notebook full of sketches, faces from a dozen angles, including my own, asleep, awake, undressing, crying quietly at 3 a.m. You're safe now. The detective lied, as if safety was something you could sew back together. 3 weeks later, we moved into my grandparents' house across town. New locks, new codes, cameras above the doors. I stopped answering delivery calls, stopped looking anyone in the eye. But one night, in that new home, months later, I woke up at 2:14 a.m., breath caught short, sensing movement where I shouldn't, just the flicker of the security light flashing, once, twice, off. The air was ice cold in the room. I turned toward the dresser, every cell in my body bracing for something impossible. On the mirror, in the lower right corner, was a single, careful scratch, a fresh X. I haven't slept through the night since, and sometimes, when the snow falls too thick and the house creaks for no good reason, I remember I never actually saw him leave. No one did. The last question I ask myself is always, if someone wanted to learn the exact rhythm of your life, every fear, every weakness, every point where your guard slipped, how many nights would it really take? And if you checked the attic right now, would you be sure you were alone? If something like this ever happened to you, or almost did, you're not really sleeping tonight. Put your story below. This is Horror Whisper.